Hi Taurus, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot. My name is Carol and this is going to be a general reading for you. And there's no reading on it because I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you. And so in today's reading, I'm going to be using the Curious Travels deck and the Radiant Rider-Waite to clarify. And we're going to be doing a reading on how to get more love in your life. And so this is a tough one because I think, most of us in, points in our life and maybe a lot of our life, we sit around and we think, how do I get that real authentic love, and how do I get that one person to love me? And it doesn't really have to be an intimate relationship either. It can just be, how do I get people to understand me? Where can I get more love? I'm not getting it from my friends. I'm not getting it from coworkers or, people around me. And so we really need to look at, what sort of patterns around love did we learn when we were younger that are really impacting us and impacting our ability to get love, and the love that, the real authentic love that we deserve. And so we're going to start off by looking at what blind spot do you have around love. And there's something here that you're not aware of. I mean, when I say it to you, you'll probably go, yeah, that's true, And so I'm going to reveal what the blind spot is that you're not seeing, you're not aware of. And then once we figure that out, I'll go to your unconscious. I'm going to go to what's stopping you from getting the love that you want. And that's what's really important, because that's what's going to be the part that, from your childhood, from your adolescence, it's going to explain a lot about why this is going on in your life and why you can't get the love you want. And so that'll be like your shadow. So we'll be doing some shadow work. Really what we're going to be doing there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask some advice from the tarot, because I want to know how you can begin to shift or just begin to heal this pattern, this response that you have around the pattern or this issue with, not getting the love. All right, so let's begin. I'm going to ask for one card right now as to what blind spot Taurus has around love that they need to become aware of. And you have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords. And let's look at what's stopping Taurus from getting the love that they want. One card for that, please. Going to complain about how half the deck folded, and then it was like this card came out. King of Wands. It's like, no, I want to come out. I love this deck. How can you begin to shift, Taurus? How can you begin to shift and heal the situation up here? One card. You have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands. All right, we're going to clarify now, and these were pre-shuffled before I came on. All my cards were. So let's have some clarification for the Five of Swords. Couple cards here. You have the Ten of Wands in reverse, and you have the Knight of Swords. So that's your second knight in the deck. Or on the table, I should say, in your reading. And the King of Wands, a couple cards for that, please. Another Knight of Cups, another Knight of Cups, Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and Knight of Wands. A couple clarifiers for that. You have these three cards that have fallen so gently out of my deck. Six of Cups, Seven of Swords in reverse, and the Two of Cups in reverse. So let's begin with your blind spot, Taurus. Don't know why my tongue wouldn't go around those words, but What blind spot do you have around love? We have the 5 of Swords. Yeah. So if you take a peek at this card, this individual at the front, can't see his face. It's interesting that they've hidden his face. He usually has a grimace on. Quite proud of himself because he's just, won this battle. And all the individuals at the back, you can see all the little, kind of, I don't know if you can see it, the shadows of these individuals at the back. These, and those are what I call the victims of this individual. He's taken all their swords, won the battle. And the clouds are very jagged because there's something like going very, like, it's kind of shady what's going on here. And I like to call this my bullying card in the deck. And so, I'm wondering here if, the bullying card can represent what these people are feeling at the back, like a lot of shame. So there seems to be unworthiness. There seems to be, because it's the first card that comes out here, I'm seeing that in your relationships you feel unworthy. You feel unworthy of receiving the love. And I haven't gone into your shadow, haven't gone into your childhood to see, what's going on here. But, there could be a chance that you were bullied when you were younger. There is some unworthiness here, and bullies bully because they have shame to get rid of. And that's how we get shame. We're not born with shame. Shame is something that's given to us from adults around us when we were younger, and or other people as well. So you're carrying a lot of unworthiness, shame in all your relationships. And I'm seeing here that this 10 of Wands is in reverse. And this 10 of Wands refers to this individual that's been carrying these burdens, and they're getting really heavy. And there's a real resistance on your part, real fear to looking at what are these burdens. What is this unworthiness right here? There's a real resistance on your part to looking at, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? And yet you have this other part of you right here. This Knight of Swords. Look at this sword. Look at this knight right here that comes flying in. It's like wanting to cut through the bullshit. It's wanting to get to the truth of the matter with their sword, because the sword is about truth. And there's this part of you that is dying to get to the truth about where this unworthiness comes from. But like I said, it's a part of you that wants the freedom, that wants to move towards authentic relationships. But I think you have so much unworthiness in yourself. And it's weighing you down so much, and that's what's interfering. That's what I think you're feeling, like you don't deserve this love. Yet there's this part of you that really, wants the freedom for sure to experience authentic relationships and what it really means. And so in your shadow here, it's going to explain to me, what is it that's causing this this unworthiness. And you have the King of Wands sitting here as a first card. And the King is, in my deck, there's 4 of them. They represent our ego self. They're the masculine side of us. We have a masculine side and we have a feminine side. It doesn't matter what gender we are. But our ego self is our masculine side. And it's the first card in your shadow when you were younger. And so this card is very much, our ego is very much a part that fears. Really, it's a scared part. It's scared of emotions. And it has the wand in their hand. It's the part of you that would have been scared to kind of, when you were younger, to kind of take the life in the direction that you wanted to go to do what you wanted to do. To have that freedom to do what you wanted to do, to be you. And this part would have come out and said, no. I'm too scared. We can't do that. There was something about your childhood that brought in some fear for you. And this ego self would have come in and put you right up in your head, took you out of your body and put you right up in your head, because it would have been something that was very fearful when you were younger, that you weren't allowed to do. You were told no, and this is like a protector part for us, but it's full of fear. So you have a lot of fear in your system right now. A lot of fear in your system. So let's look at some more, and then you get a Knight here. So you have the Knight of Swords here, and now you have the Knight of Cups. And this is, again, this part of you that wanted to offer the cup, wanted to have authentic relationships. And I think what happens, I'm going to go back to your Knight of Swords over here for a minute, about feeling unworthy. I'm wondering if you're somebody that, with this Knight of Swords here, that doesn't trust anyone, that doesn't trust love. If maybe you feel like you want to get out of your relationships, that would maybe your first go-to would be, I got to get out of this relationship. I don't trust it. I'm scared, you know. And because there's a lot of shame here and a lot of unworthiness on your part. And so in order to deal with things, you just kind of go, oh, I'm just going to walk away from this relationship. I'm going to walk out, because this Knight of Cups that comes in is when you were younger, was the part of you that wanted authentic relationships. It has the cup in their hand, right? And I think you learned from a very young age. There was some real fear put in you when you were younger. And the Nine of Pentacles is the last card in reverse. And the Nine of Pentacles speaks of just someone who knows what's important to them. That's what the Nine of Pentacles is usually, that just knows what matters in their life. But this is in reverse here for you when you were younger. And you weren't told when you were younger that you matter. You weren't told what matters in your life. And so, and especially, you know, when it came to relationships, I don't think you were told that you mattered in relationships. There was a real fear here that went on when you were younger. And so if I'm wondering if there was some something that would have really caused you a lot of shame for feeling that you didn't matter. If you felt like you didn't matter when you were younger in relationships, and you have this part of you that protected you, put a lot of fear in you about relationships, and how you can get hurt because you were hurt when you were younger and felt like you didn't matter. So now you're coming into your relationships with this unworthiness that you learned when you were younger, that you didn't matter. And so when you get into relationships, maybe, you know, it doesn't matter what, you know, if they're intimate or, you know, just, you know, with friends, coworkers, like I said, I think there's a part of you that probably at one point or another kind of panics and gets scared, and your go-to reaction would be, okay, I got to end this relationship. And it's a pattern. That's the pattern, because there's so much fear there around getting hurt. And sometimes I've heard of people where they'll end the relationship before the other person does, so that they don't get hurt. You know, that could be your situation. Maybe you know that about yourself. But there's definitely a lot of fear around relationships, being in relationships, you know, maybe taking it to that next level, going deeper into relationships, because you have a lot of unworthiness, a lot of shame that you learned from your relationships when you were younger. And so how can you begin to shift this or heal this pattern of yours. Well, the first one comes in is the Knight of Wands. And we didn't have the Knight of Wands. No. So you have 3 knights here. There is this real sense of, because you have 3 knights in this reading, there's a real sense of, knights are that, we all have this part. It's like an adolescent part of us that wants the freedom to be themselves, that wants to move towards authenticity in their life, that doesn't want to be oppressed, doesn't want, it's fighting. Maybe you came from a situation when you were younger where you were controlled, right? And you were kind of smothered, and that would definitely make you feel unworthy. This particular knight is the Knight of Wands, and it's the part that wants the freedom to move towards their true purpose, what they meant to do, right? So there's a part of you right now that wants the freedom to go towards what you want, I think. And I think it's time, because you have this unworthiness about yourself. And I think there's this real part, well, let's find out who you are. Let's go into this new direction if you want. And we're going to find out, who you really are, what you really want in your life. And there's the 6 of Cups that comes out and says, well, the 6 of Cups is a card of my inner child. It's an older child giving to a younger child, this whole thing of giving and receiving. Because if you are feeling like you don't matter, if you put yourself out to the world as I don't matter, you are going to continue to attract all kinds of people in your life in all different situations that will show you don't matter. And that's how this life works, because it's a sign that says you need to look at this. You will continue to attract people. If you don't matter, if that's what you give out, that's what you're going to receive. And this is what the 6 of Cups is, this giving and this receiving. Because there is a younger part of you that really felt like they didn't matter. And that was this 9 of Pentacles here, where you didn't know what was important to you in your life. You didn't have a sense of that. You didn't have a sense of you being important at all. And so there's an inner child that needs healing, this unworthiness. This inner child that holds your unworthiness needs healing. It needs to be heard, needs to be understood, needs a voice. And it needs you to grieve, because all of the shame that they carry, right? So they need to tell you about their shame. I write to my inner parts, and they tell me, my inner children tell me about their shame and how they feel terrible, and how people when they were younger made them feel terrible. You have a 7 of Swords here in reverse. It's time that you start to look at the swords. The 7 of Swords in an upright position talks about the swords is our mental energy. It's our mental body. These are all the things that people told you. All these swords that this thief card, it's called the thief card. Look at how they're running away from these, whatever, and stolen all this camp and stolen all these swords. And he's running away. It's quite dangerous because he's holding them by the tips, right? This individual is holding these by the tips. Could be a she, I'm not sure. But yeah. So they're running away. Very dangerous here. And these are all the things that you were told by others when you were younger, right? We talked about how shame is something we're not born with. It's something we're given to. So what are all these thoughts that you continue to tell yourself, that you put out into the world? All these shameful things that you've been taught about yourself, and you continue to believe them. And the advice from the tarot was saying, because it's in reverse here, so the advice from the tarot was saying, like, look what's done to you. There's a real resistance on your part to looking at it and to recognize, these things that you tell yourself, these shameful things, these things that you tell yourself of being unworthy, of having real relationships. Well, maybe I don't deserve them, or I'll never get them. It's not going to happen to me. Where do those come from? We're not born into this world feeling like we don't like that we don't deserve love. You know, we're not put on this earth saying, okay, you're going to be somebody that doesn't deserve love. Everybody deserves love equally. We all came into this world believing that equally, that we were all going to get it. But something happened to you on the way, and now you feel like you don't deserve it. You have this unworthiness about you that's continuing to, it's going to be reflected. Whatever you feel inside, it's going to be reflected out. And all these people are going to come, and they're going to show you your worth. They're going to show you your worth. You know, and they're going to show you that they don't care about you, because that's the kind of people that you're attracting to come in. And the last card that comes out here is this Two of Cups. This is a beautiful card. Here's the promise of the beautiful relationship for you. It's a Two of Cups in an upright position. Because right now, there's a resistance on your part to accepting this relationship, right? You don't even feel worthy enough to accept this healing relationship. This is the caduceus right here, the wing line and the caduceus. This is a healing relationship between two individuals. And this is not about another person coming in for you. This is not about that one person that's going to come in for you and show you all the love in the world that you've always wanted. Because I just finished saying that if you continue to feel unworthy, that's the type of people that are going to show up at your doorstep, are the ones that are going to show you what you're worth, what you think you're worth. This particular relationship is the beginning of a very healing, loving relationship between two sides, two people. And it's between you and you. You get to start a brand new relationship with yourself. Two is just the beginning. Here's where you start to go inwards. And you have to have enough love for yourself. You have to believe that you're worthy enough to start to build a relationship with you, Taurus. With you. Because you are worth it. You are worth it enough that you're going to take the time out to get still and to learn how to ground into your body, right? To overcome that fear of going inwards and to try to find out, you know, what does my inner child want to tell me? What sort of feelings do I have from when I was younger, when I was told that I was unworthy? I need to feel that. We need to feel our shame, and it feels like shit. That's why it starts with SH. It's a horrible feeling. But we need to sit with ourselves and grieve, because this is what this inner child needs to do. And grieve when we were told that we weren't worth it, that we weren't worthy enough, that we didn't matter. You know, all those things that people told you, that Seven of Swords that you ran away with when you were younger. Because you were a sponge, and like you just took it all in, right? So I'm going to leave you with your 2025 reading that I did for you, Taurus. And I'm also going to leave you with, I think it's really important. I mean, you do need I think you need to learn how to ground, right? And I also do a lot of journaling. I talk to my inner children through my journals and ask them how they're feeling, and they tell me about how they're feeling, you know, and I feel, and I grieve. Because they needed to grieve when they were younger. Actually, instead of the grounding, I'm going to give you we need to do the shame playlist. So I'm going to give you a shame playlist. That's going to have some videos on how to journal from your shame on there. And if you're interested in grounding, I have grounding videos as well on my other channel called Carol Cares. And this will take you, the shame playlist will take you to my other channel where I have grounding videos. And I'll leave you with your 2025 reading. So I want you to have compassion for yourself, Taurus, for what you're working through. I know this healing journey is so tough, but it's the most important journey of your life. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.